Now, hey guys, welcome back to the Kunal Call. I'm Kunal Bhatia and I'm joined by Sid and Toby to another episode of Football Weekly. This week we have seen games. This week we have seen the battle of the Etihad, which happened between City and Liverpool. It was in the end 2-2, which is one of the best Premier League games in recent memory. But what happened in the Champions League is something like I can't even explain it. Like the Madrid Chelsea match was amazing. Like I couldn't believe what was happening. Then next day, Atletico Madrid, no, the same day, Atletico Madrid, no, yes, that was yesterday. Atletico Madrid and Man City, they fight and going crazy. But Ben Bayern Munich are knocked out by Villareal. And Unai Emery is in the semi-final of the Champions League. This is for me one of the most like amazing things happening to this football right now because and we have Sejpal here. What I was saying that what I saw these days was something like I couldn't believe it, and it just showed me why the Super League wasn't created because you cannot have moments like this, like Villarreal beating Bayern Munich, Chelsea and Madrid are going at it, Atletico Madrid going mad, Benfica also like playing very well. They drew 3-3.
Benfica gave them a good fight, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what football is, man. And Sid, I want to talk to you about the Madrid and Chelsea game because I know it's painful for you, but we just speak about it and we will analyze it. How did your team bottle it after being 3-0 up? Like, honestly.
I won't call it bottling it. I mean, look, it was an uphill task from the start. We bottled the first leg. I'll give
Yeah.
you that. We made errors, and the thing is, like in Champions League, you can't make one error. Here, we in that match we made several. We were actually lucky; it was just 3-1. But yeah, that third goal really killed us in the first leg. But to come back from that, I had very little hope. I mean, Toby was there in the group. Toby was rather annoyed by my pessimism because I was like, "Yeah, it's finished. It's done. It's like it's over. We shouldn't even watch it." But the way these guys played, man, the way Mount was playing, Kai Havertz, he was fighting for every inch of grass out there. Kovacic, everyone, Marco Alonso, this thing, Reece James, everyone, each and everyone, top performance from everyone out there. We put the ball in the back of the net 4 times. Yeah, I mean Alonso's hand was there for the fourth one, but yeah, they actually put the ball in the back of the net 4 times. That's huge. But yes, when you're playing Madrid and they need only one goal, it's always going to be tough. It's always going to be tough. And honestly, that Modric assist was
Out of the
one of the
world, man.
best assists I've seen in the game in a long time. I mean, not since Zidane or Iniesta since have I seen such a beautiful dip, and that's amazing. That was a beautiful assist. But again, I was very disappointed with Mendy because both the goals which came in, I just wish he could have done a little bit better for both the goals. Like it was right there. Like I just didn't see any effort from him, and we know how good Mendy is. It's not like this is a keeper who he's playing out of his depth. Mendy is one of the best out there, but it's just since November.
Yeah.
It's a November, December, I think onwards. He's just been not that sure-footed anymore. So I don't know what's going on with him, but it's a mixed bag because I am beyond happy with how we performed with the passion they showed, with the fight they
Yeah.
showed. Like they won't give up, but again, like to come out of that with nothing, and so that stings a lot.
Sejpal, first I want to wish you a belated happy birthday. Your birthday's on the
Oh yeah,
11th of
happy
April.
birthday, bro.
Hey, happy birthday, man!
Thank you. Thank you so
So
much.
yeah, no problem, man. And I want to talk to you as to how proud you were as a Chelsea fan seeing that performance, even though you didn't progress. Were you proud of the performance as a fan?
See, let's put things into perspective. Benzema destroyed us in the first leg itself, and at one point it looked like we were going to qualify, and around the 70th minute. But then, of course, it's Real Madrid, and it's Ancelotti's Real Madrid, and anything can happen. Like he's got the experience of winning like 3 Champions Leagues. I think it's 3, yeah,
Mm.
or
Yeah,
2.
yeah.
I'm not so sure.
Three.
Okay.
You
Three,
won
Okay.
two
three,
with
three.
yeah, three.
Two with Milan,
Two
Two
with
with
one with
Madrid,
Madrid.
one with
Two,
Milan.
three,
Two with
three.
Madrid.
Yeah.
two.
Two with Milan,
Two,
yeah.
No,
no,
one,
no,
one,
no,
one.
one with Madrid, two with
Two
Milan.
with Milan, one with
Yeah.
Real Madrid, yeah. So he's
Yeah.
got
Because he
experience of.
won in 90s, 2005, and
And
then
then 13, 14.
2013.
13.
Yeah.
No, no, no. It is 2003, 2007, and 2013-14. That's the one.
Yeah,
Correct.
3 and
Ah,
7
So
yes.
and 2013, 14.
yeah, so he's got the experience of like getting into the knockout phases with many teams, even
Correct.
like. But the good thing about Chelsea was that like we weren't complacent like how PSG were in the previous round,
Yeah.
and of course like we fought to the till the end, and you know it was a good performance, but then it's just a little bit more annoying that we got knocked out in extra time rather than regulation time.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
So, Toby,
yeah.
I want to ask you the next question regarding Real Madrid substitutions. If you notice what he did, Ancelotti, like I know like you're a Chelsea fan, but how did Madrid turn that game around? Because they were getting overrun in the midfield. Toni Kroos and Modric were not working together at that particular time. He took off Toni Kroos and he got Kamavinga. And Modric got that license to just go for the attack. And do you think that's experience from Ancelotti? Or do you think that's just a throw of the dice? Like, you know what, let's see what happens.
No, it was definitely experience. And I've been saying this ever since Kamavinga's come into the club because
Yeah.
I see a potential in this kid. Ever since he was playing for Rennes, ever since I've seen him in his academy days as well. Like he is such a good defensive midfielder. He's not similar to your Kante because he's not a sort of player who would be just bring the ball back, having that pace to accelerate and come and support an attack. But he'll be there in a defensive point of view, and this is what I think. Why I think it wasn't just throwing the dice because you know, if you look at the first half, I mean, we all will agree the fact that our midfield were dominating completely. We didn't give enough chances or drive for the midfield three with Casemiro, Modric, and Cruz, because the way we pressed their midfield in this leg, we kind of like suffocated them. So as soon as they get the ball, we tend to press so that they wouldn't know where to gain that chemistry between the midfielders, and it wasn't really working. And like Cruz and Modric are not the sort of midfielders who are going to drop back and defend. They do,
Mm.
yeah, because they came back, but you're not going to get that sort of winning the ball back like how Casemiro does it for them. Because Cruz and Modric are very attacking midfielders, attacking minded, and this is where Ancelotti's experiences come in the second half. It is a gamble because you never know what you're going to get from a young guy like Kamavinga playing in this sort of level, playing in a big game against a big club, and it's the quarterfinals of the Champions League. But
Yeah.
it was a phenomenal decision because as soon as this guy came on, I could see a complete difference in solidity as soon as Madrid started defending when they were out of possession. Whenever we tried to play from the middle, he was always there. He was always winning balls. He was always clearing it whenever we had a set piece or a corner. Like he was very, very active. And I think that gave the sort of, drive for Casemiro and this guy to like defend, and then Modric can support the attack with Benzema, Rodrigo when he came in, and then Vinicius. And I
Yeah.
think that's where that goal comes in extra time because they didn't really worry defensively as much. I think what I think it is as well. I'll just add a Chelsea perspective. I think after the Werner goal, the confidence of our players were a little like uptight. We thought this is it. I thought that was it. I thought the Werner goal that settles the draw,
Mm.
that settles the tie. We go to extra time. I think we're going to dominate. But this is what happens when you have a clinical striker like Karim Benzema. Like we've spoken about this, guys. If you compare Lukaku right now in terms of having that sort of player who will just bag in goals no matter how you're playing and get the job done for you. I mean, it is a huge, huge difference. But I mean, this all comes to the fact of Rodrigo's goal. And I think that pass from Modric was
And then
like,
finish also, bro. That was on a volley.
that was, you know what? That's actually a very hard finish if you think about it.
Correct. Yeah.
Because that
Can
was
we talk about how Ancelotti is a miracle worker with strikers? Like he like gets
no,
every striker.
I think
Yeah.
Ancelotti, we spoke about this, guys. I think Ancelotti is a sort of manager. If you give him like very, very good strikers, he knows exactly how to use them. Right now, in this current climate of football, we have a lot of managers out there who have a phenomenal squad in front of them, but
Hmm.
just don't know how to utilize the whole team. And like
Yeah.
that drops the chemistry of the team. That's how they struggle. But Ancelotti's experience comes into this game. But I'm not writing off the fact that we really gave our heart out on the pitch. And I am so, so, so proud of how we played. Like,
You
honestly,
know,
it was a great, great performance. I think every part of the field, I'm not complaining too much. People were criticizing Loftus Cheek. I mean, Sid, like, I don't think he put a foot wrong.
no, 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 no. Loftus
He
had a
put
great
a
game.
foot
He
wrong.
had a
He
great
played
game. Yeah.
extraordinary
He
well.
was crucial in that role in midfield, giving Kova and Kante a free role to do whatever
Absolutely.
they wanted, and that was crucial. And uh, to praise Loftus Cheek, I want to because I wanted to talk about this, and I think everyone is forgetting this one person because of the brilliance of Luka Modric, Rodrigo's volley, and Karim Benzema, Marcelo.
Marcelo. Marcelo. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Marcelo.
the experience he
See,
brings, bro.
dude, just forget everything. Forget everything around the goal that went up. The man who won possession. So Reece James was on top of that area the whole night. Modric was not. So if Modric went in the middle, Loftus Cheek was there. Loftus Cheek was just choke him down. No space for Modric to operate. If Modric moves away, there's Reece James over there. There was nothing going past Reece James. He had a phenomenal game. I've never seen him this good. He's had great games. This by far was his best game so far, defensively speaking.
You're talking about
So
Marcelo, right?
no, I'm talking about
Ruben.
Reece James.
Big James.
Reese,
Reece
Reese.
James.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Reece was having the game of his life. Marcelo comes in and he wins the ball out of nowhere. Like Reese dropped back because we had possession. And the game plan always was once we hit 3-0, you could see every time we got possession, Reese dropped backwards. Reese dropped backwards. And that was the moment Marcelo saw that moment. He took the ball. He had a little space. Reese tried to close it down. But in trying to close down that space, Modric had a little more space. He had that 1 second more. And that made all the difference. So yes, Modric's assist was one of the best I've seen in a long time. Yes, that volley was brilliant, but without Marcelo, none of that was happening. And I won't say Reese put a foot wrong because Reese made the right judgment in that moment. He doesn't go for Marcelo. Marcelo puts the cross in. But that was an amazing move by Marcelo. He waited. He could have gone in a second earlier. He waited for Reese to drop back before he went in to get the ball. And that was brilliant. And as far as Ruben Loftus-Cheek goes, he forced Luka Modric and Toni Kroos to play wide. That's not easy. He's a kid. He's a kid who had an ACL tear. He could not play for 2 years properly. He's coming
Yeah.
back now. For him to go on pitch with two of the greatest midfielders of our time and force them to go wide, I'm sorry. I don't know who thinks that he had a bad game.
And
I
this is
disagree.
where this is where the exquisite, like, ideology of having a world class manager is, because if you look at Loftus Cheek's position, he started off as a right wing back. That was his
Mm,
position. But then in game, if you look at how he transitions and comes to the middle, and then Reese comes up high,
yeah,
it's a very, very tactical sort of battle against their midfield. And I think the fact that he was able to adapt to that position, the
yeah.
fact that Ruben Loftus-Cheek was able to give crosses from the flank whenever he was coming, when he was running down the wing, I think he gave a very, very good ball. I think it was early on in the game. And he did against Southampton too, which Werner
Yeah,
hit the
yeah.
woodwork,
I think
He's
that's what
very
convinced him
dangerous.
also to play him in this match. That Southampton game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think, and I think, Sid, like, this is Southampton was like easily the main reason why these guys were boosted with confidence,
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially Werner. Werner's runs were just phenomenal. Like,
yeah.
I said it, the Southampton game was the Leipzig Werner right there,
Yeah,
making
he had a
those dives.
demonic game. He hit within 30 minutes. He hit both the posts. He hit the crossbar,
He could have
and
had
he
four.
scored a goal.
Absolutely. Like, this is what
He's
we were
collecting
missing.
everything.
And one more thing I want to add as well. Like, I was like wondering how would Marcus Alonso really, really put up against this Madrid side? Because
Bro, he was
honestly,
playing so well, man.
in the first leg, I was
I
a
take back
little
everything I said about him.
iffy about it. And having to see this guy have two good games consecutively
Yeah,
is a good thing. Like, apart, maybe his goal was it wasn't counted, but everything he did defensively, phenomenal. the runs he made to try and create space from the flanks to get these crosses in. It was just everything. We couldn't ask for much more from him. Like he got the job done. He didn't put a foot wrong defensively. He's always had issues with, from being from high up the pitch to coming and dropping back, because he's not a quick winger. He's not a quick fullback. He's not. But he managed to, he closed down Fede Valverde in the first half.
Yes.
He did that very well. That was a very good match.
Fernando is also a goal threat, from free kicks and set pieces.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
He gets in very good pockets of space.
I think that has never changed. His left foot is very, very dangerous. Once Marcus Alonso gets in that position, no matter how his form is, we know the ball's on the back of the net, because that's his protege.
Remember his goal versus Arsenal, where he just cleaned out under Antonio Conte's season. He just cleaned out Bellerin.
Yes, I do remember that. Again, Bellerin, right?
Yeah. He just cleaned them out.
I think it's iconic goal.
Didn't care who's in his way.
Wembley against Tottenham, the free kick.
Man, Chelsea was you all spoke about Chelsea and Madrid, and it was a great game to go.
It was.
But let's go to the Atletico Man City game, because this was a mad game in the end. Bro, this game for 80 minutes was absolutely garbage. For 80 minutes, there was nothing going on in the team, in the match. And the last 10 minutes, everything kicked off. Cards are going out. This was like a fucking grenade launcher going on the pitch. Literally,
What
man.
happened?
What exactly happened was, Atletico Madrid were dominating because they got Suarez in, and, they were just going for it, He made positive changes, Simeone. On the 88th minute, Foden gets the ball, and he's cleanly taken out, not for a foul, but cleanly he wins the tackle, the guy, and the ball's gone for the throw-in. And in his follow-up, his studs just touches his shin, and then Foden just dives around like a baby, and then Atletico Madrid people lose it, and the entire team gets back. The Man City team gets in the in the pitch. The coaches of both the teams are there. It's like a war zone. Everyone is in the pitch. I'm like, what? From where did this come from?
I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, man, Diego Simeone
Atletico
was going to put
players
his
took
UFC
issue
gloves
with
on.
time wasting.
Huh?
Atletico players took an issue with time wasting.
No, they were they were getting pissed with the fact that this guy was rolling around.
No,
but that's my point. It's Atletico.
No, it's that, Sid. And one more point you missed, Kunal. I think if you watch the game, in the last 15 minutes, Atletico had chances.
Oh man, so many chances. They could have scored
This is where it all comes from. Atletico had clear-cut, decent. I wouldn't say clear cut, but some half chances and some very, very good chances.
The last minute save that he shot.
That Edison made. Yeah. Was absolutely. I think
that was amazing.
I was frustrated because Sid, it's one of those games where that there is an opportunity at stake. These guys at the end, and I don't know why it happened at the end. I don't know why they didn't do this in the first half.
Correct.
They came out. Everybody was playing so high, and I'm talking about Atletico here, a team that sits back under Simeone. Everybody was high, and they put pressure. I won't deny the fact that City were under pressure in the last few dying minutes of the game. I think Atletico could have got something out of that game, and I think that's where the anger comes from, because these guys are wasting time just to see the game off.
Yeah, but
Atletico,
think about it.
The puzzling thing about Atletico this season is that they've got a lot of attacking talent this season, and they just haven't been able to click as much as they have done.
They get in the right space.
I won't say it's a clicking problem. I'll say more of a kind like Simeone is trying to find a new style of play that is a blend of his robust defending and transition. So of course it'll take him some time to find a new style, because you just can't find it in one day. But my question is, I'm going to play the devil's advocate here because I don't like City anyway. But still, I don't see the point in getting that frustrated for Atletico, because you have 180 minutes of football, right? You did nothing in the 90 minutes, in the first 90 minutes. You just defended. You conceded a goal and you still kept defending. You didn't go for it. You didn't go for the remaining, as you guys say, 80 minutes, 75 minutes of the match.
No, the first 45 minutes they didn't go. The second half they were really attacking. The last 50 minutes they were really attacking.
So now my question is, why leave it so late? You come into the match, you're playing at home. You know that you're trailing by a goal. You have to go for it. Now I know you don't want to play into Man City's hands.
But
I
City
get
were
that.
very poor. Like they were not that playing well. They got De Bruyne out. No,
Mm.
Grealish was on the bench. Only creative play was Foden and Mahrez, and the
Foden
centre
and
backs.
Mahrez were the only ones who I think were amazing. Mahrez amazing, Foden okay, because
Mm.
Mahrez really. I don't know if you remember Kunal. Remember that pass he gave in the game, dude? He did this weird outswinger pass towards Foden, but
Hmm,
Savage cleared it. Like he was like there were four players on him from the corner, and Mahrez used his left foot and gave this like outswinging curl. Like honestly, I think if Savage left it, I think that ball would have snuck in the far post. I honestly would have
Wow.
thought so. It was a very very good ball, and I think that was the only clear cut City. I was actually as a neutral, I was disappointed at City because they
yeah.
didn't really go for it in the
No, they
first
didn't.
half. They were just playing reserve because and Atletico took it. They didn't take any advantage of it because you know what? This is what I think. Simeone went with, and it was clear. He went with a decision in the first half to just sit back a bit and then go all out in the second half because they're only losing by one goal.
Correct.
Because there's only one away goal. I think that was the tactic he was trying to go for because he assumed that City are going to come all out guns blazing in the first half,
Yeah.
and then let's just sit back. But that wasn't the case. City
Pep
didn't
used,
really
yeah.
didn't really be as critical as we know City are. Let's put
Yeah,
it that way.
Pep used this guy's tactic.
Yeah,
Simeone.
pretty much. No,
I'm
like,
actually
but they didn't.
impressed. I'm actually impressed
City
because
didn't
my
sit
biggest
back like
problem
how
with
Atletico do,
Hmm.
but they didn't really go for it like the way we know City would. They
Yeah.
didn't really
so
win.
I don't know if you remember the 2017 group stage match between Chelsea and Atletico.
Of course.
In that, if you remember, one of the things that I was very much concerned about is how do we break down a defensively robust side, because we were having trouble, if you remember, for 2 seasons or 3 seasons since 2013. We were having trouble with teams who park the bus, which is ironic because that is something that we used to excel at. And I love the tactic in that match because they were like, okay, you keep the ball, take it,
Hmm.
do what you can with it, and then
Yeah.
they would make a mistake, and we would hit them with a counter attack. And I think we had uh, we beat them. I don't remember the
So
score. Honestly, I can't
the
recall the
first leg
scoreline.
we beat them 2-1, and then when they came
Mm,
to the bridge, we beat them 1-0.
1
1-1. It
0.
was 1-1. It was 1-1.
Yeah, because we were just like, you keep the ball, you
Was
do
it the
what you can
Conte
with it,
season?
and they didn't know what to do.
This was the
They
Conte
genuinely
season. I remember the first leg
contest
very
season.
well.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
goals from Alonso and Batshuayi. I think the Batshuayi goal was absolutely phenomenal because that was so tactical,
Yeah.
and the reason and said
He was
exactly
brought on for it. He was brought on for the goal.
absolutely, and I think the build up to it is what I'm talking about because
Mm,
they were sitting so deep at home, typical of
yeah,
Atletico. They were sitting
yeah.
so deep. There was a cross, I think, from if I'm Fabregas from the
I
middle.
don't
He gave a
remember.
cross to Victor Moses. I remember I saw the highlight recently. He gave the cross to Victor Moses just in between. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah. So Victor Moses just had to just touch the ball in between Atletico's defense, and there was a little space open. And I think the best thing about it is Batshuayi was right there. Batshuayi was right there, and he just had to put a tap in.
Yeah.
And I think that was like a very, very good goal, considering the fact that we kind of did struggle to break them apart.
But that's just exactly what I meant, because my biggest problem with Pep since his Bayern Munich days has been that he
Yeah.
never comes with a plan B.
Correct.
He is, you can call it arrogance, you can call it belief in his own system, whatever. He never
Yeah.
comes with a plan B. So
Absolutely.
remember the Madrid matches, he would play a very high line. He would get hammered, and then he will come back the next week for the return leg, and he will play the same lineup, and he'll get hammered once again. And then everyone will be like, oh, but Bayern Munich gave a good fight. I'm like, it's irrelevant because he made the same mistakes he made in the first leg. And that kept happening over and over again. And this is where I praise Jurgen Klopp after the Champions League final,
There
because
was
Jurgen
another
Klopp
thing.
had
But
lost.
there's another thing, like about Pep, right? You've got to understand. I think with City, do you think that he had an inferior squad compared to Bayern, and he still played the same kind of way,
Oh
or
no, he
was
doesn't. No.
No, he
He
has a
does
better
not
squad
have
than
an
Bayern
inferior
bro,
squad.
definitely.
He has the best squad he's ever managed with City. He's amassed the squad. There is no question of
This is all you
inferiority.
could have asked for. Like
Yeah.
all of
Yeah,
these players were his, and
yeah.
yeah.
City backed him like that.
He has a
Very
he has a better defense than he
There's
had at
no
Barcelona. He has a better attack, a better midfield than he had in Bayern Munich. He has a
He
much
has
better
the
squad.
depth. He has a good bench
He
too.
has a
Like
depth. Look at
he has
us. Like we were at halftime. We were wondering, okay, when Mount is getting tired, Werner is getting tired. Who do we bring on? Ah, crap. We have
They have
Ziyech
Grealish
and
on the bench,
Pulisic.
bro.
They have Grealish on the bench. They have a hundred
But even
million
he
pound
didn't even
player on
come
the bench.
on. He was
a
on the
hundred
bench. He didn't
million
even
pound
play.
player sitting on, and this is what I don't understand about Pep. Because I'll tell you guys, like the fact that he knew that they were soaking in pressure in the second half, and as Sid said, he doesn't. That was a clear. He didn't really have a plan B. He didn't really change much in the second half.
No,
They were
on the
still struggling.
contrary, Toby, you're getting me wrong. I'm actually saying that he had a plan B. That was his plan B. I'm actually impressed by him this time because
Yeah,
Pep's Pep's arrogance is that he doesn't change his style of play, and that's I was just saying that
Wait,
earlier
so you
that
mean it like in a positive perspective?
yeah,
yeah.
he changed his
Okay.
style of play. So the best example I'll give you, Jurgen Klopp, right? Jurgen Klopp lost the Champions League final to Bayern Munich. He lost the Champions League final to Real Madrid. So he knows he lost two finals playing his style. He goes up against Spurs. He's like, you know what? I don't care. I just want to win by hook or by crook. He just does a smash and grab. I deserve the penalty, doesn't deserve the penalty, doesn't care, scores the goal. Now I don't care what happens. I'm not going to let them score. It was the most boring Champions League final I have ever seen in my life. I
But it
was
worked.
bored out of my mind. But guess what? He
He
got the
won.
medal. He
Yeah.
He
won.
got the job done. He got the job done. Yeah.
Nobody's going to come back and say how they wanted this, that, this. He got the medal. And
Yeah.
Pep has been missing that pragmatism for a very long time. And if he can apply that, if that truly was pragmatism, if it wasn't City being out of it because they were pushed to the limits versus Liverpool, if it wasn't
Do you think?
them being exhausted, then it's
Yeah.
I don't think anything can stop.
Do you
That's
think
it. Go ahead.
that's another reason why Zidane has been successful in the Champions League with Real Madrid?
No, Zidane, I think he had so many plans. He had the backing of the players, one thing. And the players, when you see players fighting for the coach, there's a different feeling to that altogether. Because
Yeah,
Zidane was an assistant coach and then he became the main coach. He got
yeah,
sacked and then he was brought in again and he won the league again. So he
yeah.
knows this club inside
See,
out now. And said, and
Zidane, Zidane came with a plan on context of exactly what he wanted to prior to when he was called into the first team. And having the fact of being able to manage a squad at that time with big players like Cristiano, Benzema, Modric, Cruz at the absolute primes, Marcelo,
even Bale, bro.
Gareth Bale as well. There are a lot of names we can all mention,
Yeah,
Keylor
Cristiano
Navas,
Ronaldo. We keep
but
forgetting about that.
but I said Cristiano. But what I'm saying is like the main thing that I really admired about Zidane at the time is he got all the players on board.
Correct.
And that is one of the main reasons they've been super, super successful and been the dominant force in the Champions League for 4 years consecutively. It's because they stuck to the same sort of plan and they've been doing it year in, year out, and they've been
Yeah.
unbeatable about it. And why he doesn't need to change anything if it's working so,
If
so
it's
well.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and
But
Why do you want to
but
change it?
Zidane really perplexes me because when I see his style of play on the pitch, there's nothing special about it. There's nothing out
It's
of the
not.
world about it. It's
simple
very
football, bro.
routine. Yeah, it's simple football, but it's so effective. It is so effective.
And I
Like
think
when you
that's
like
go on, go on.
when you think about the best coaches in this well, you think about Pep, you think about Klopp. You don't Your mind doesn't go to Zidane, but he has the trophies to back up the claim. Like if somebody comes up to me and says, "I think Zidane is the best manager in the world," I'm like, "Fine, I'm not going to argue with you. I don't
He's
have an
won
argument.
everything. Literally, he's won
Yeah,
everything.
what am I going to argue with you on?"
I mean,
Yeah, and
it's clear as hell. You
yeah,
win these trophies, and
you can't. So
There's
next
two
question,
questions.
Sejpal, I want to ask you this question actually about Unai Emery. So Gods and Kings Ajan has asked two questions here. Where does Emery rank in today's
good
best
evening.
coaches? And could Chelsea have won the UCL if their progress surpassed Madrid? I want to talk about Chelsea later because we spoke about Chelsea a lot. But I want to speak about Bayern Munich and Villareal. Man, that was a slobber knocker, man. That just made me respect Emery a lot. What do you think about that, Sej?
Unai Emery is a very good manager. And Arsenal have downgraded ever since they got Mikel Arteta because he was unfairly sacked. He was not unfairly sacked at Arsenal, but things weren't going his way. Just like they were just a poor run of form. And if they showed more patience with Emery, probably they would have been in a better position now. But as you all know, that people move on, and yeah, I think funny enough, we knocked out Arsenal with Villareal. his new
Yeah.
club, and won the Europa League with Villareal. And it was a very shocking moment for Manchester United as well. It was like a telling point. Remember, like in
Yeah.
Solskjaer's reign, if he would have won the Europa League, you would have still been in a job. I think so. And now Unai Emery is in the Champions League semi-final. If you think of, and he has the ability, and that squad has Premier League rejects, especially Spurs rejects, and Anna Danjuma from the Championship in Bournemouth. Like they Villareal bought him from there, and uh, they've got decent players like Gerard Moreno and Paco Alcacer and Samuel Chukwueze, of course, and Pau Torres.
Yeah. Whatever.
But
Alberto Moreno.
they've got no Alberto Moreno is injured. They've got Raul
Oh,
Albiol,
he didn't
36-year-old. Yeah, he didn't play. Uh, they have a 36-year-old Raul Albiol as well, which is
Raul
like
Yeah, the
Albiol.
captain. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
like I don't know. He has the ability to get the best out of what you would say a relatively average squad. He's a cup manager, and he has won like many trophies with Sevilla as
Yeah.
well.
And he's
No,
good
but-
at
so-
Spurs.
but-
Anyone Spurs wanted to get rid of Serge Aurier, bring him over. Like, he's just
Celso
picking
is
people.
there-
Lo Celso, give him
Yeah,
Lo
look
Celso.
also, look also. Yeah.
And like
It's
Sid, I want
different.
to go to you, Sid, regarding this.
And Francis
He won
Coquelin
the
as well.
Europe. He won the Europa League last year.
Hmm.
He's in the Champions League this year, semi-final. What if he goes to the final and wins it? Where does that achievement rank in the history of football with this team?
Right up there with Jose Mourinho's Porto. If he
Yeah.
if he pulls this off, I don't think it's possible because Liverpool is just
To go
too
here.
strong. Too strong.
Mm.
They are relentless. Like Bayern were
Don't
poor.
write Villareal off,
Bayern
I
got
think.
out.
Uh,
No, I'm not writing them off. Obviously, I won't write them
Yeah,
off
but,
after what they've done.
you know what it was?
But
They're
I'm
very
just giving my
defensively robust
opinion.
team. Yeah.
Hmm.
Like what
There
I
are-
will say is more than Villarreal. Again, I'm not taking anything away from Villarreal. What they've achieved is phenomenal, but Bayern were excessively poor. So keeping that in mind, I don't think Liverpool will be going in with any reservations. Bayern were overconfident, complacent. Liverpool won't have that problem. Liverpool will look at Bayern Munich and go like, well, if they can lose, we can lose. So they won't come with any such reservations. But if he can pull off a miracle, which I don't think is very likely, but if he can pull it off, that achievement will be right up there. But the problem with him is he's just not looking at Liverpool. He has
City was
Madrid
amazing.
and City,
Yeah.
Madrid or City in front of him as well. And I think that's too much of an ask. Too much of an ask.
No, but anything weirder things have happened in football, and if he
Yeah,
does
yeah,
this,
I agree.
Not
We had a-
all anything happen. Once a team goes past the quarterfinals of the Champions League,
yeah,
or in the
They have a
quarterfinals of
chance.
the Champions League onwards, anything can happen.
no
Yeah.
doubt about
I
it.
think
And yeah, looking at Salah's slump in big games of
Correct.
late, anything is possible. Anything is possible. But then again, I
Because
I think
Diaz-
it's too much of an ask. I think it's too
Yeah.
much of an ask. Personally,
but
like, I
yeah,
don't think-
but Toby, this is
I personally
unreal,
want to see
man.
Villarreal in
He-
the final of the Champions League.
I would love to.
I would love to.
love
That's like the complete underdog story.
Yeah,
Like, no one
yeah,
expected this team.
I don't think there's a single neutral football fan out there who's not rooting for Villarreal right now. If
Yeah,
you're
I'll,
a neutral,
I'll
you
give you a
want Villarreal.
statistic. I'll give you a very interesting statistic. The only team they've lost to Champions League this year is United twice. At home and away. That was because of Ronaldo's brilliance. Like, that Ronaldo is the team, you'll get the chance. But Toby, I want to ask you this. Huh?
Remontada, I said. No, go on.
Yeah. And Toby, I want to ask
I was
you
gonna
this.
keep my name today as Remonta not happening because we didn't get it.
Remontada somewhat happened. Somewhat. but it
Remonta
didn't.
almost.
Almost, but it didn't. But it
Okay.
happened. But somewhat.
Toby, how much respect I think you think Unai has earned it after what he has done? He knocked out Juventus,
I've,
knocked out Bayern Munich.
I've always had respect for Unai Emery, guys. I've always admired him as a manager ever since his time at Sevilla. I think, and people wouldn't understand me, but this is where it comes into play yet again with many of these underrated managers, is because I get it. PSG, it's not just happened with Emery, it's happened with Tuchel. It could happen with Pochettino soon.
Yeah.
The thing is, these guys, these board and these sort of egotistic board of directors in these sort of clubs, would always keep the players' minds first. And it gets in too political, and that's what disturbs the manager's confidence. And I think that's what breaks the relationship between the manager and between the club.
Yeah.
And this has been happening for quite some time. I'm talking about mainly about PSG because they've been doing it for years. They've done it to Tuchel as well. Because the thing is, you cannot be able to control a big squad with huge players. I'm talking about names, I'm talking about egos, and get them on board just like that. It is not easy. A manager can't just go there having a sort of thought like, oh, you know what? Let's go. It's somewhat like us. At least for Chelsea, the players got on board is because they're young, and they don't
And
have
also, we have a revolving door culture anyway, so players are used to a new manager coming in.
They
That's
used
wrong,
to,
bro.
but I'm talking about the players like Reece James, Mason Mount, Tammy
Mm.
Abraham, and all these guys. They would listen because they
Yeah.
know Tuchel, they know what he's achieved. But players like Neymar, Mbappe, and all that, they're not going to get on board completely. For them, we're bigger than the manager. We're bigger than this.
They're bigger
Yeah,
than the
but
country, bro.
Toby, I genuinely
I
think that's
disagree with the
unforgivable.
Mbappe part. I think I
I
disagree with the
can't agree with
Mbappe
that
No,
part. I think
but see, Sid, like you can't change that about them. That's never going to change. They're gonna be like that forever because they have
Yeah.
big names. They're Neymar, they're Mbappe, they're Messi. We're a big,
Messi.
we're on hard-earned money. We can. I'm not saying that they do whatever they want, but they're not
Mm.
gonna. You're not gonna get exactly to point on the pitch as to what the manager wants,
Yeah.
and that causes a
Yeah.
huge scrutiny in the club because performances don't come well, and we've seen
Yeah.
that. Like a few performances, Tuchel didn't honestly do that bad at PSG, but yet he got
Mm.
sacked. So
Now
this
he got
was
sacked for very different reasons. He got sacked because
Uh,
when
Thomas
the
Tuchel
walkout
not
happened.
at PSG. Like
no,
Sorry.
in the
and it was also to do with the player they signed. What's that guy they signed from Porto?
Uh,
The midfielder,
Rio
and
Pereira.
it wasn't yes Pereira. It wasn't Tuchel's signing, and it was actually Leonardo, the chairman of PSG.
mm.
He had a huge fall off, but anyway,
No,
um,
but that being said, he lost the dressing room after that whole walkout incident because he's a very pragmatic guy. I think he was wrongly painted as a racist also after that, because what he was trying to explain to the players is that the referee did not mean it in the sense that you guys are taking it. That in his language, that word is used just for the color
are you talking
black. He
about the
didn't
game
mean it.
against Besiktas when they had
Yes,
Yeah.
the
yes.
racism thing
When the
during
Dembaba
part?
incident happened, so he was just trying to. I think that he lost the dressing room that night because he was against the walkout. He was like, "No, we don't walk off. We finish the game, and then we raise the issue with the officials."
As
That's
you
what he was
mentioned,
in
he's
favor.
pragmatic. Tuchel is a very, very
Yeah,
head and
like
shoulders man.
look how he's
He does
handling the
his job.
sanctions. Look how well and eloquently he's handling the
He's handling
sanctions.
it because
So
for him, it's more of football comes first. I don't care about politics in a
yeah,
way. It's
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into this. I'm gonna handle the club. I'm an employee of the club.
yeah,
My duty is to get these guys firing on the pitch.
no
Yeah.
And I
doubt,
think he plays a huge role after what has been happening for us. Yet
no
we got the
doubt.
results. And I think that really helps the dressing room in a way because that decreases the pressure and mindset of the players. And to add to that, I've even mentioned this before in the previous podcast. We have, the philosophy and like the directors we have around us know the game well. Petr
Yeah,
Cech, he's been a huge influence in the dressing room, and like we know how to calm them down a bit. And these guys are just focusing on what's to be done as players. You
yeah.
don't get involved as to what's happening around the club. But anyway, back to Emery. I think I've been absolutely impressed by how far they've come. I did not expect this, and I mean, considering the fact that they're Europa League champions is a big say too.
Hmm.
Historically, this is something great, and it is a mega for a club like Villareal's stature because they're not a big club. Their fans are very, 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 very. How do you say it? They're very passionate. If you look
Yeah.
at if you even look at their home stadium too, like they are so loving, and it's like
It's like
they,
a, it's
they
like a
all
fortress.
one big
You
exactly
know they
similar to
charged
There's another
Arsenal.
10
thing, yeah,
pounds.
Toby.
They
Yeah.
they
So
charged. Sorry.
what's more impressive about this group, this Villarreal side, is that they've qualified for the Champions League semi-final with a relatively worst group of players in the
Yeah.
last time they qualified for the Champions League semi-final under
True.
Manuel Pellegrini, long time back, because that at that time they had more decent players like Santi Cazorla. They
Santi
had
Cazorla.
I
They
think
were a regular fixture in top four
and
back
Carlos
then. They were
Martino
regularly finishing in top
and
four.
They were up there.
I think they had
Yeah.
But I mean,
Giuseppe
we can't
Rossi
run
as
out the
well.
fact. I personally think Gerard Moreno is an underrated striker. I really, really admire how he plays. He is he's a very dynamic striker, and you get a lot of work rate from that. And I think that's the key, guys. I think that is the key as to why Villarreal got this far. It's the amount of work rate. You see these guys, Chikwueze, dude, you had to see him at the end of the game, bro. This guy's lungs would have come out of his mouth. They were dying. They
Yeah.
gave everything. And I think this is where I criticize Bayern Munich. It's a clear picture as to how they judge Villarreal. They really
Oh,
took
they
them.
were so they were smiling when the draw happened. When
They
they were
were
smiling, they were
underestimating the team. And I
yeah.
think
It's
this is
massively
the issue
disrespectful.
with our football now. You
Culture,
never
football
know
culture.
what's gonna happen at this
Yeah.
at this time, because these big clubs, some of them would always have these sort of egos.
Yeah.
We're a big club. It's easy walk for us in the park.
Hmm.
But you never know. Getting this far, you can always imagine a surprise. And I think the draw against Liverpool is gonna be tough. I don't think they're going to qualify, but I'm sure it's going to be a very, very tight game. I think so. It'll be like Liverpool just going through just.
And also let's not forget Emery has played this Liverpool many
He
times.
has played this Liverpool before, and I think
Against
I'm
shit,
sure they have
adds some
this
sort
shit
of.
Arsenal team.
huh?
With the shit Arsenal team.
I'm telling you, this Villarreal side will beat that Arsenal team.
No,
Yeah.
easy. It has beaten that Arsenal team.
It has
has,
beaten
it
that Arsenal
has.
team too.
So now last question before I end this podcast. This question is by Gods and Kings. Favorite team to win the UCL this time. So I want one word answers, no explanation. Just give me that give me that answer that you have. Who do you think will win the Champions League this year?
Man City.
Shahidpa
Liverpool.
and Toby?
City just.
I think it's going to be Madrid. I just think that it's answer.
The only one we are leaving out is Villarreal. I
it's
think
one of
No,
those-
one of us has to
if
change the
if
answer.
Villareal wins, we'll all be happy. Seriously.
No doubt.
It's one of those. It's one of those. Like with all our opinions, I think it's one of those scenarios where whoever wins it, like whoever we predicted, we wouldn't be that surprised.
Yeah.
Correct.
We wouldn't be that surprised because they've been dominant. Madrid are a good team. They're a very, very good team. But if they're not on their game, which they are vulnerable of doing, and I am telling you guys, amongst these three teams you mentioned, I think Madrid are the ones who are slightly vulnerable at times.
Yeah, they
Correct.
are. They
I
are.
am sure.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, if we hadn't played the first leg the way we did, it
Well,
wouldn't
well.
have been 3-1. It would have maybe finished
If
1-1.
Mendy didn't give the
maximum
ball
2-1.
away and that mistake in the
If
Benzema's last
Mendy
goal, I
hadn't
think
given
that
the
would
ball
have
away,
changed.
I'm telling you
I
that
think that
game
would
would
have
have ended 2-2.
Because even Rodriguez said it in the press conference day before yesterday. He's like, if we shouldn't be giving up these sort of mistakes. I don't think he's talking about the mistake that happened that game. I think he's talking about the mistake that happened in the
Early,
first.
yeah.
But
Because
the
there weren't
Mendy-
that many mistakes in this game. This game was
No,
I
I think
except for the miss by Pulisic and the worst miss
two
by
misses.
Jorginho.
Havertz's header too.
Yeah.
In the second half of the
Yeah,
action.
I know.
So clear-cut chances, but I think apart from that, we're out now. We can't really complain, but I think we gave a fight. So I think that's what I'm like really happy about. It sucks to go out as defending champions. I mean, we can understand that.
But you guys
But
played your heart
does
out.
it-
So that's the main
Does,
thing.
does it feel like an end of an era
No, I
Chelsea?
don't think
of
so.
sorts?
No.
In terms of spending power, yes, but if you have Tuchel as a manager, then I think you will still get more players from the academy. You got Gallagher from Palace, who's a brilliant player. I think
The
when-
only thing I'm concerned about is that the ownership needs to be sorted out before the
See,
transfer window opens.
I get the
We
spending
need
power.
to
and
lock
all.
down
I
Rudiger. We
get
need
the
to lock
spending
down.
power, but again, we are still a club that are going to attract a lot of big players.
Yeah.
But again, it comes down to the fact as to what Sid just said. It all depends on who our new owners are.
Correct.
What our transfer budget's going to be like. Are they going to be willing to sign big money players like how Roman Abramovich does? So I think it all comes around this. If that is clear and that's sorted, and if they're investing money gradually into the club as to how we've been statured and how how much do it with passion, like how Roman Abramovich did, that would be. I don't think we should worry too
But
much. I don't
to
think so.
be to be very honest, I actually was a bit concerned about this 2 weeks ago because I get a bit obsessive like this. I went back uh, checking out all our transfers over the last 16 years, and ironically, all our best signings were the ones we didn't spend a lot of money on.
We didn't.
All the money, like the most expensive signing that actually clicked for us was Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our big
It's
money signings have never really panned out that well. Kante
Kante
was a
was
bargain,
30 million.
30 million. Aspilicueta,
Deal.
6 million.
9 million euros bargained.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that just that
Mendy,
just
30
proves
million.
that you need to have a good recruitment team. You need to have a
That's
plan,
it.
and if the match,
That's it.
see, if like with United, for example, now I'm not going to speak about United in the end.
Hmm.
But now
Go
Eric
ahead.
Ten Hag almost confirmed for 95% and 5% left. Now he's
Do you
going to
think
come
he'll
in.
come? He's coming.
Wait,
I
Kunal,
think
how many has the contract been sorted? Like, do you know how long is his
four
contract going
years.
to be?
4 years,
4 year
they're
contract.
saying. You know why? Because I think he'll come because this, see, whoever turns this United team of future is going to be in the history books because it's that big of a club. It's like how Jose Mourinho came, and obviously Chelsea were not that a big of a
Yeah.
club, but he changed it completely with his signings and
He's
with
he's gonna be there like anytime people talk about Chelsea's
exactly, and
rise.
he
It's
deserves the
Jose
respect.
Mourinho.
Yeah,
it's him.
exactly. So people say that Jose Mourinho not good enough. I'm like, just shut the hell up. He done great things, and you
He's
got to
done
move on.
what he's supposed to do.
Exactly.
I
Come on,
challenge
man.
anyone to top what he did with Porto, man. He
No one
won
can
a
do that.
treble. He won a treble. Sorry, I'm cutting you off because I get
Yeah.
wild on this. He won a treble
I'm
with
literally
Porto.
smiling.
He won a treble with Porto. Not the Champions League treble. He won the Europa League. He won the domestic league and the domestic cup. The next season, he won the domestic league, the Champions League, and he lost by a shoddy penalty in the domestic cup. That is how far he came to winning an unprecedented double treble. I am sorry, with Porto. Yeah, you tell me
See, that's
anyone
what I'm
else who can pull
saying.
that
That's what
off.
I'm saying. People will criticize that Chelsea team with this Jose Mourinho side at the time is because of how we played. Doesn't matter how we play.
Yeah,
We got the
It's
job
winning,
done.
bro. It's winning.
2004-5 season, Kunal, Sid, Sahaj, I'm telling you, guys, that season, we just lost one game. We only
Yeah,
conceded
against
15,
15 goals that
against Man City.
season.
15
We only
goals
conceded
conceded.
15 goals that season.
No
That
one
just
has.
shows the solidity of our team at the time. But at the
I'll give
same
you
time,
a stat.
we've been complaining, we've been sitting back. Bitch, we won the league.
Exactly.
So,
Holy
like,
shit. But
doesn't
that's what
matter
I'm
how we
saying.
do it.
But that's what I'm saying. When Jose Mourinho came in and he had his idea, for example, now Eric Ten Hag, we used to talk about we're talking about clubs backing the manager. I don't give a damn if he signs a 5 million player or 10 million player or a 100 million player.
As long as it's
Exactly.
I'm
effective.
so
As
happy
long as
Now,
that like the
absolutely,
manager of,
absolutely.
next
I'm
manager
sorry.
of United
I
won't
won't
be
expect
Pochettino.
any. Sorry,
yeah,
Saj, go
so
on.
said, what's up?
I'm really happy for Man United fans that the next manager of Manchester United won't be Pochettino
Yeah,
because
I'm also very happy
Mm.
because I knew that, because if Eric Ten Hag didn't come to United now, he would go to Man City in 1 2 years. I have said it
And
before. I 100% know that would happen because
and I'm
there's a
sorry
system in City.
if any United fan is starting to complain about any of the signings that he's made, the only thing that you can slap in their face with is you signed Pogba for 105 million pounds, and then you spent a further 250
Sign,
million pounds trying to find a combination for him, and it didn't work out. And now he's going to leave on a free mostly.
and then you
Mostly he's
sign
going to
90
leave.
million on the best defender in England,
Yeah, so if
according to
Eric Ten
Tally.
Hag comes and says I want so and so and so and so, whether it's a 2 million player, whether it's a
Yeah.
free signing, whether it's a 35-year-old, give him what he wants. But I want to ask you one question, Kunal. I was reading some articles of the Athletic and some reporters in Ajax. There is a vibe around Eric Ten Hag that he is obsessive compulsive down to the fact that he wants every blade, he wants the grass to be cut to a very specific size, what food is in the cafeteria. Do you think that kind of control will work at a big club? Because we have seen that backfire at
But you
Chelsea
need,
with Andre
but
Villas-Boas.
now, like, honestly, every fan is against the players. Like, we have to be honest. Every United fan is cutting the bullshit with these players. And you know what? I will back that manager for 4 5 years, even if he doesn't win anything. I don't give a damn. Like, I want Harry Maguire to be benched or sold. No, seriously, I'm done. You cannot accept that kind of performance again and again. People are
No, fair
defending
enough.
him, bro. I made a video on this on the United PR they're posting like an article on Maguire. I'm like, bro, he's a footballer. Judge him on that. I don't give a damn how he's a good man. Like Mason Greenwood, for example, he was playing fantastically well. Then he screwed up in his life, and that's his personal choice. And now he's not
Yeah.
there. But as a
Yeah.
footballer, he was good. So I would judge on that. So he's not in this United team, and whatever is happening with him, that's a different conversation, and that's not connected to United. Like in terms of like he see, people have to be good human beings. That's a definite thing in life.
That
Whether
goes
you're
along
up
with it
down,
because once you're in that position, you have to be a role model.
and
And I
you're
think
playing for bro,
you
you're
know
playing for United, bro. It's not a
you
small
know
club. It's the biggest club in the history of the football. Like what
it's
Alex
the
Ferguson
biggest
has
club in
done.
England.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And what Alex Ferguson has done, I don't think any manager can do. Like,
no,
I don't want to debate
It's
with
not
Pep or
possible.
Klopp.
It's not
It's
possible
not,
today
yeah.
you
But
know, I
because you
was
can't afford. You
when
can't
you're talking about Eric
afford.
Ten Hag in terms of like the control and the system, and
Mm.
bro, we all want that. We want that. I,
and
I
you know,
want,
Kunal,
Luke, I want Harry Bunga to prove me wrong. I want him to prove me wrong. Prove,
yeah,
but perform.
Yeah.
If you don't
yeah,
perform, fuck off. Whoever
Yeah,
you are.
I think no football fan will be disappointed if a player that he criticized doesn't perform. So I remember Christensen. So we Nav came on the show earlier. Nav and I used to be at odds. So Nav used to be in favor of Rudiger and against Christensen. I used to be against Rudiger and in favor of Christensen. Both of them proved us wrong, and I don't think any one of us is complaining that we've been proven wrong. We'll happily admit we were wrong because hey, it's benefiting our team. So why would we care? Like if we are wrong about a player, great,
Yeah, but prove us
prove us
wrong, man.
wrong.
So, yeah, instead of coming out and saying the attack has to be good, like David Dea came out and he said it's a disgrace. He's right. He's the most played United player, even more
that's
than
what I'm saying.
Ronaldo. Like
Mm.
Ronaldo has been there for I think 7, 8 years. David
And
has been
this
for
is
like 7+ years now. So you
And
have
you
to give
you
that
have to
credit to.
understand De Gea's frustration because at the top of his game, he could have gone to Real Madrid or in the season after which they won 3 back-to-back
he
UCL
reached
Yeah,
titles.
that peak where he could have got that big move, and then
But
it
he
all
but
didn't.
fizzled.
He didn't get that
it's
big
still
move, and now he's
But
stuck. He's stuck. He's finished.
but see,
Now he
this
doesn't
is
even have a reputation anymore.
no, like this is the point I was gonna make, especially Kunal. I wanted to tell you as well. You know, as exactly what Sid said, we were nods between our defenders at the time with Christensen and Rudiger because these guys didn't really perform to
Mm.
the levels they are expected to, and by the
yeah,
defenders we had at the past. But then, as since Tuchel has come in, these guys are at least Rudiger
listen,
is one of the best defenders in the world right now.
No
You
correct.
doubt.
know,
That's what
and
you guys wanted to
that's
say.
and I was watching a video of on Sky Sports when the Telegraph reporter David Ornstein came on, and he was mentioning like I think what is lacking since I think Jose is the fact that you have a manager now who knows exactly what you're going to get from the player and sit with him privately in his office,
Correct.
talk to him over it, and tell him and demand this is what I need from you. This is exactly what I need from you. This is what I want to see on the pitch. And if you're not doing this, you're not going to play. And that's exactly what Tuchel has done with the players who've been struggling. That's exactly what I feel Ten Hag's going to do. He is going to demand. And it sets a good example because if you look at the Ajax team in 2018-19 with Van de Beek, Ziyech, um, Delete, these guys played in a way
Beyond.
that makes them comfortable.
Mm.
Ziyech did what made him comfortable. Van de Beek made him. But as an overall unit of that, you know, the team gained chemistry with their sort of performances. And I think this is something what you're going to get out of Ten Hag. And I just hope it works out because I know he's going to sit with these players. He's going to tell them, this is what I need. This is what you need to improve on. And sit with them and then focus on what they need to improve on. Not just put a team
Yeah.
out and then,
Yeah.
cross and inshallah something would happen.
Uh,
So,
Speaking of Van de Beek, Kunal, is Van de Beek sold or on loan?
no,
No, no,
he's
he's
on
on
loan.
loan, and he'll be the most happiest man in the
So
world if he'll be
yeah,
back.
yeah.
He'll
That's
be
what I
back.
was just thinking
He'll
when
be
you
back.
mentioned Van de Beek.
No,
I
but
was
you know
like, yeah.
we need a CDM and like we have midfielders. Pogba's going, so I don't want him to stay.
Do you
also.
think Dalot's going to stay or he's going to go?
Dallo?
Yeah.
I think. See, you know what? I will say one thing. Yeah, Dallo is better than Bissaka, please.
Oh, yeah.
Like Bissaka is like a break dancer, just like dancing left, right, center, and he's not even doing anything right. Dallo is a better
I think
fullback.
Bissaka was good in his first season at United. To be
But
fair,
as a defensive player, he's not an
He
attacker.
was good
He can't even
defensively.
pass. He can't. He's
Now,
always yeah.
due to his lack of confidence at that
He's
age,
become much worse.
he's doing nothing. Even defensively, I've seen him make a little bit of errors, especially aerially. I don't think Bissaka was a very good defender aerially.
No, but you know
One-on-one,
when you see him, yeah, when you see him 1-on-1, I think he's the most confident he ever is. But
Yes.
United are not struggling. You see, at the full see, first of all, we have problems with the centre back, the full back, problems all over the place. The right back is supposed to make when we talk about Liverpool or when we talk about City, they attack with their fullbacks, bro. They attack with the system. See, that's the thing. There's a system.
That's the system. That's our
There's
system.
a
Their
system.
system.
There's no system with
Even
United,
City,
bro.
yeah.
Even but when Dalot has the ball, he takes it forward. Every time Dalot crosses, there's a chance we can score. That's whenever you see Dalot play. There is that hunger he has, that desire. Okay, I want to go, I want to win, I want to do. But Visaka, there's nothing, bro. There's nothing. Like, okay, he's there.
Could it be a lack of managerial direction because he is a young player?
Maybe.
Exactly.
Because, maybe see, he can prove. If he proves me wrong, I have no problem. But
Because he's
for
coming
me,
in a
I
time.
wa-
He's coming in a
I
generation
personally
where
feel that United's players have been like badly coached under Solskjaer. Like
I don't
a
think
lot
they've
of
been
players
coached
have
at all.
been
Forget
I don't
about
think
being
they've
badly
been
no,
coached. I
that's
think they've
that's
been
what I was
coached.
trying to say.
And
Because like Bissaka comes in a
like
generation of
under
the
Ranić,
best right backs.
okay, under Ranić, I think they're trying to play a certain system, but then no, the plan, they're not executing the plans
No,
as
see,
well as
Ragnick has a particular system. He's trying out on the players, but the players don't give a fuck.
Also,
Simple.
let's
Players
not
don't give a
forget.
flying fuck.
Let's not forget that Ragnick has not had a proper managerial job in a long time.
Correct.
So
That
there's
is
a reason
true.
for that. There's a reason.
And I
for
think,
that. He's-
see, I won't deny the fact that Ranić, as what they say he is, tactically he's a masterminded. Okay, good. I am not going to argue about that. Maybe he
Yeah.
is. But I think exactly what you guys said, because he may have had a plan in mind and put it out on the steam sheets during the dressing rooms or before a game. But I don't think it could either be these guys are not really implementing to it, or it could even be maybe these guys are not really understanding or it's too complicated. I don't know what it could be. But I'm
See,
sure he
personally,
had
yeah.
something. He
No,
was
he
struggling.
has, but he
but
has
I would
something to do. Yeah, you said.
I think Ranić has the lowest win percentage, like one of the lowest win percentages as Man United manager.
Bro, we have
He's got
drawn so
40.
many. We have drawn so many games. We could have won that, man.
Yeah.
It's not on him. That's on the players. When you're not even going for even the Everton game, that's not Ragnick's fault. If it's not working out, do something. The Maguire. I cannot believe this guy. If he gets played by anyone on this show, yeah, I'm not even inviting that guy again. Maguire gets the ball from David De Gea. He sees Telles is actually marked by two Everton players. Maguire is being covered by the Everton player. He still passes to Telles. You know why? Because he doesn't want the fault. Simple. And then Everton almost score a goal. Bissaka clears it. So Bissaka is good defensively. But when you see about like passing, like Eric Ten Hag is a system and stuff. Maguire won't fit in that, bro. Like everyone will get a clean slate when Ten Hag comes in. But if
speaking of clean slate, let's play a game, Kunal. I'm gonna take 5 names of players. Okay, you just have to answer. Don't go into detail. Just answer. So sell, loan, or keep. Okay. Starting with Rashford.
Keep.
Okay. Maguire.
Sell.
Pogba.
Sell.
Ronaldo.
Keep him for one season.
Keep him for one season. Wan-Bissaka.
Wan-Bissaka. Sell, man, because I haven't seen anything in this game like to maybe to improve, maybe defensively, but not attacking wise. Like you have any more names, you can just tell me. I'll just keep my honest opinion. Honestly.
Lindelof.
Keep, because he knows how to pass a fucking ball better than
And
Maguire.
this is the one which I was actually most interested about. De Gea.
See,
Loyal,
this
but
is something.
inconsistent.
No, he is a good player, but if he doesn't suit the system, Henderson does more because he distributes the ball well.
Exactly.
Like if you
What I was
see City
just
and if you
gonna
see
say.
Allison, if you see
Henderson with his feet he is very good.
bro, Edison was like shocking everyone with
And
that pass in the
yeah.
last game.
That game,
What the
my
fuck, you know, what the
Bro, I
fuck?
don't know what he was thinking, man.
Yeah,
He's
he
so calm.
didn't care.
He's like, okay, I will just pass. I'm like, what?
Why is he even playing in goal? Go players in holding midfield.
Yeah,
or something.
and the best part is he just passes the ball and Jota goes sliding by him and he's looking at him like,
Whatever.
Not,
But
that's
you know
Alisson,
that.
right?
No, that Edison I'm talking about. Edison passes a pass to his own player. But you're talking about Henderson and David De Gea, for example, okay? David De Gea has to improve his distribution. And obviously he has to be, if Ten Hag is coming, that's the biggest thing in his system. But Henderson is a good distributor. So if Henderson is better, then David De Gea has to go. It's for the team, bro. It's for the club. You have to. Yeah, I don't hate David De Gea. He's the best player of the decade for me.
and I don't think any United fan can hate him.
Yeah.
I would actually question a United fan's loyalty if he hates a player who has been so loyal. Forget solid
Yes, yes,
performance
yes.
wise, so loyal and just there. He's been a rock in your hardest times.
And I
So
think the
my
main thing is he's been a player, like maybe not many fans have criticized him because of his performance, but he's been a player who shows that sort of characteristic of
yeah, he
like
plays with
love.
heart. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Loves the club.
he
Yeah.
doesn't have that ego.
So would he be okay with the number two? Like
No,
he'll
I don't think so.
play cup
If
I
he,
finals.
don't think
no,
he
no,
would.
no, 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 I don't think
He
so.
nearly
If
lost his
you,
place in the national team to this guy. He did
Unai
actually lose
Simon.
his place in the
yeah,
national
he
team.
lost his place.
Unai
So I think
Simon, he
if
did lose his place.
yeah,
Yeah,
but if Henderson is preferred, then I think David has to go for his own benefit as well, and also like maybe
Mm,
go back to Spain. Maybe to Atletico Madrid because Oblak might go somewhere. You never know. Anything
yeah,
can happen in transfers. But if Henderson suits the system, we have to make Edison play. Sorry, Henderson. It's
I think
simple.
this is
Like there's
gonna
no
be the
ego.
most.
Huh?
I think this is gonna be the most tentative summer transfer window ever, because normally this would be the World Cup window, and everyone waits until the World Cup is over to go for the top performers. But this year the World Cup's happening in the winter, so I
Yeah.
don't think anyone's gonna make such a big move, and they're gonna. I think everyone's gonna, and nobody moves in Jan, so it's gonna be a very.
See,
It's
if
gonna be
Eric
a
Ten Hag has the system, and if he sees the play not good enough, and if he talks about it, the David is not good enough, and Henderson is, he has to be honest because there's no hate against anyone because
yeah,
Eric Ten Hag has come in and he's trying to solve a problem. If he
yeah.
goes to David and tells him, dude, I'm going to play like this system. If you can play like this, then fine. If you cannot, we have to let you go. And there's no ill. Like no one will be
Mm.
sad. People will be sad, but they won't be that sad because
I
we
know
know that David is not a good distributor of the ball. Or pass. That's what you need now. Because that's a
the
big
cost of
because
progress.
and I'll tell you why I like Henderson distribution because he got the ball against the City like how Luke Shaw scored a goal I think last year. He threw the ball halfway field to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw took the ball and he scores a goal. So you need
Mm.
that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
when you see Henderson has those qualities and David doesn't, it's a simple choice. But there's no ego. There has to be
Okay,
like professionalism. Okay,
Henderson,
bro,
like,
we can't.
first choice keeper and performs well. I think can be the England number one.
He can.
Oh yeah,
I think
no
he
doubt.
is. For me, like, he
I'm
performs well.
sorry. Pickford is. I'm sorry. Pickford is way hyped. I just.
I've been saying
He's
it.
he's
Yeah,
just
Ramsey,
there
he
because
can be a,
there's nobody
I've been
no,
saying
no,
else.
it.
no, Ramsey.
He's a good goalkeeper. Pickford is a good goalkeeper.
Oh,
I
that's
was a
good,
keeper
man.
myself. But like the thing that he's really struggled with is, and we've seen it so many times, set pieces. I don't know what he does at times. The ball's approaching to him. He doesn't know whether to collect it or to punch it. He gives it in dangerous situations. But
Overthinks.
the best thing in Everton, not the best thing, it's annoying. Sometimes he gets away with it. He's given
Yeah.
so many missed passes and he just gets away with it like that, and that's why people don't talk about him as
Mm.
much. But he's got a lot of flaws in his game, and I think I don't see him suited as. But guys, sorry, I just want to add, talking about goalkeepers. Do you think Aaron Ramsdale could probably, if his performances go on as it is right now,
Number
you
one.
think we could get a starting spot for England for the World Cup? I mean, it's a big
No.
ask.
No,
You
I
It's
think Gareth Southgate is too arrogant, bro. Even if a player
see
plays well, it doesn't make him
the
play.
the problem with Southgate is that he is set in his ways
Yeah.
in a sort of way. So
He still
Trent
plays Maguire.
Alexander-Arnold, yeah. Let's say Trent and Reece can have the game of their life, but he will start with Kyle Walker no
Correct.
matter what happens. So he is set in his ways, and it provided it worked for him. They reached the final. And they reached the final after a long time. They performed. Uh, People can talk about how they are underperforming, how they didn't perform that well, how they didn't deserve to be there, and all that jazz. But then once you reach the final, you reach the final. You've earned your spot over there, regardless of how you played. So I don't think he's going to drop Pickford, but I do certainly think that Ramsdale and Henderson are England's future. And
Better
Ramsdale is
goalkeepers.
proving everyone wrong. Like when he came in, everyone was
Let's talk
mocking
about
him for
something
having
else.
been
Yeah,
part of relegated sides, but he's been fantastic. He's
Yes,
been
yes.
really good.
Yes, yes, but you can have the
let's
last say.
talk about something. What's happening with Dele Alli? What's happened to him?
Lazy.
I think
Lazy.
the hunger is gone, honestly.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know if you guys saw the All or Nothing documentary on Amazon Prime.
Jose
Jose
called him out,
Mourinho.
man.
Yeah. Jose called him out in training. Jose called him to his room. Jose's like, listen, you have talent, but you're not. I think his problem was he bought his own hype,
Yeah,
and that was the biggest problem because for the big English talent is anyway hyped, and Dele Alli had a phenomenal season, but that season was also due to the fact that Son was having a great season, and Son enabled him to have a good season. Everyone forgot that, and he just then built on it, and he bought his own hype. He's not taking training seriously. He thinks he's the big boy on campus, and it all just came crumbling down. It's just that's it. He didn't respect his own talent. We've seen this with Balotelli. We've seen this with Dele Alli, uh, and we'll continue to see
Do you
this with
think
so
he's the
many other
worst
players.
January transfer window signing?
not. I don't think so.
Do you
No,
think
that
he's the
that goes
worst January
to
transfer window signing?
no. That will forever be Arsenal's tag with Kim Kallstrom. Sign a
my.
player to
No.
cover and
Not this. Not that. I'm talking about this year's window.
oh yeah, easy.
Yeah, of course, because it hasn't worked. So you obviously will say that because if Everton survive, for example, and they look like because of United's stupid performance, um, it might turn around for him next season. Do we see that? No, but it can. You never know because maybe he needs that one-on-one with Frank Lampard, and the one guy who can really turn around is Lampard because he's a fantastic midfielder, Lampard himself. So he can actually tell to Dele Alli, bro, you need to get your ass up now and start moving. If Jose couldn't do it, obviously Frank might not, but Frank is a player he has admired, so he doesn't
I
want to
mean,
let him down.
Frank trained this guy. What's his name? Mason Mount, and made him
Correct.
what he is. So
Yeah, exactly.
I think the worst tag can be a draw between Dele Alli and Van de Beek, because Van de Beek, they signed him and played him only 6 times. So why did you sign him? Why not sign
But
somebody
but he
else?
was
Yes,
signed he's in the summer, bro, not the winter.
Okay, fair enough.
So, okay, for that being said, I want to end the show today. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. And thank you, Sid. Thank you, Toby. Thank you, Sahaj. A lot of things to be talking about. But next week, again, we'll be back on Thursday. Please subscribe to the Canal Call, leave a like. And thank you so much, guys. Take care.
Thank you.